Sylvester Stallone is more than a movie star. He represents the stubborn refusal to quit when life keeps knocking you down. For decades, audiences have watched him rise from defeat as Rocky Balboa and survive impossible odds as John Rambo. But those roles resonate because they were shaped by real pain and real perseverance. Stallone didn't invent the underdog spirit, he lived it. His career, spanning over 50 years, mirrors a lifelong battle for respect, purpose, and belief in himself. Behind the box office success and iconic imagery stands a man who was underestimated at every stage of life. His journey wasn't built on luck or privilege, but on persistence, rejection, and relentless self-belief. Stallone's story connects deeply with ordinary people because it proves that strength isn't about perfection. It's about continuing forward when the world tells you to stop. A challenging start to life. Sylvester Stallone was born on July 6, 1946 in New York City, and his first moments were marked by hardship. Complications during delivery affected the nerves on the left side of his face, giving him the slurred speech and facial features that would later become unmistakable trademarks. As a child, he struggled with confidence, often feeling misunderstood and overlooked. His home life offered little stability, and school became another battlefield where teasing and misjudgment were common. Teachers frequently mistook his quiet resistance for trouble, while classmates focused on what made him different. These early years planted deep emotional scars, but they also shaped his resilience. Instead of surrendering to isolation, Stallone slowly developed a survival instinct, one that pushed him to defend his dignity and identity. Those early struggles didn't weaken him, they quietly forged the determination that would define his entire life. Finding strength through adversity. As Stallone entered his teenage years, instability followed him. He moved through several schools, struggling to find a sense of belonging or direction. Eventually, he was sent to study abroad, far from home, where loneliness tested him even further. These years were filled with doubt, confusion, and emotional isolation. Yet something important began to form beneath the surface. Stallone discovered that hardship could either crush a person or sharpen them. He gravitated towards storytelling, acting, and physical training, not as hobbies, but as lifelines. These pursuits gave him purpose and control in a life that often felt chaotic. He wasn't chasing fame, he was searching for meaning. By the time he returned to the United States, Stallone carried more than uncertainty. He carried resilience. He didn't yet know how he would succeed, but he believed deeply that he must. The harsh reality of chasing a dream. New York City in the late 1960s was unforgiving, especially for an aspiring actor who didn't fit traditional expectations. Stallone faced constant rejection, often dismissed before he could prove his talent. Money was scarce, opportunities were rare, and survival became a daily challenge. He worked any job he could find, from cleaning cages at the zoo to sleeping in bus stations. At one of his lowest moments, he was forced to give up his dog because he couldn't afford to feed him, a decision that stayed with him emotionally for years. Still, Stallone refused to abandon his dream. Every rejection strengthened his resolve instead of weakening it. While others chased shortcuts, he chose endurance. These years weren't glamorous or inspiring on the surface, but they were critical. They taught him humility, patience, and the brutal truth that belief must exist long before success arrives. An underdog film becomes a cultural icon. Against the odds, Stallone was allowed to star in Rocky, though the film was made on a limited budget with intense pressure. Filming was demanding, resources were scarce, and the production relied heavily on creativity and commitment. Every scene carried emotional weight because Stallone wasn't acting, he was reliving his own journey. When Rocky premiered in 1976, audiences immediately connected with its honesty. The film wasn't flashy or perfect, it was real. That authenticity struck a chord worldwide. Rocky went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture and earned Stallone nominations as both actor and writer. Overnight, the struggling artist became a symbol of perseverance. Yet the success felt earned, not accidental. Rocky proved that people don't just cheer for victory, they cheer for effort, courage, and heart. Stallone's life and art finally aligned. Building a legacy. Through iconic roles. The success of Rocky opened doors that once felt permanently closed. Stallone continued the story through sequels that reflected growth, discipline, and self-belief. Each chapter expanded his influence, turning Rocky into a generational symbol. Soon after, Stallone introduced John Rambo, a deeply different character shaped by pain, survival, and quiet strength. Unlike typical action heroes, Rambo carried emotional depth and vulnerability, resonating with audiences worldwide. These roles defined an era and elevated Stallone into global stardom. At his peak, he was among the most recognized actors in the world, commanding respect and creative control. Yet despite fame and wealth, Stallone never lost connection with the struggle that shaped him. His performances remained grounded in empathy rather than ego. He wasn't just portraying fighters, he was honoring the countless people who fight invisible battles every day. When success is tested. Again, the 1990s brought unexpected challenges. Tastes changed, trends shifted, and the industry that once celebrated Stallone began to overlook him. Several films failed to connect with audiences, and criticism grew louder. For someone who had already fought so hard to be accepted, this period was deeply humbling. Fame proved fragile, and relevance felt uncertain. Yet Stallone didn't collapse under disappointment. Instead, he reflected. He recognized that setbacks don't erase past victories. They simply demand adaptation. This chapter reminded him that resilience isn't proven once, it's proven repeatedly. Rather than chasing trends, Stallone chose patience and self-honesty. The world may have doubted him again, but he had already survived doubt before. The difference this time was wisdom. He knew comebacks weren't built on desperation, but on purpose, reflection, and the courage to start again. Reinvention. Through honesty and growth, Stallone's return wasn't loud, it was sincere. He revisited Rocky not as a triumphant champion, but as an aging man reflecting on life, loss, and meaning. Rocky Balboa wasn't about winning fights, it was about facing time with dignity. The film resonated deeply because it mirrored Stallone's own journey. Audiences saw authenticity, vulnerability, and maturity. The comeback wasn't driven by nostalgia, but by truth. Stallone proved that reinvention doesn't mean abandoning who you were. It means honoring it while evolving. This phase of his career redefined him, earning respect across generations. He became a symbol not just of strength, but of longevity. His story showed that purpose doesn't fade with age. It deepens. True success isn't staying on top forever. It's rising again with integrity when you fall. The enduring lesson of Stallone's life. Sylvester Stallone's legacy extends far beyond films or awards. His life tells a universal story. Adversity doesn't disqualify you, it prepares you. From childhood struggles to professional rejection, from global fame to quiet reinvention, Stallone's journey proves that persistence matters more than perfection. He never waited for permission to believe in himself. His courage came not from confidence, but from commitment. Today, he stands as a reminder that dreams don't have expiration dates and that setbacks are chapters, not conclusions. Stallone's greatest achievement isn't his characters, it's the example he sets. He teaches us that resilience is built through effort, humility, and self-respect. In a world obsessed with instant success, his life offers a deeper truth. Real victory belongs to those who keep moving forward, even when the path feels impossible.